Well, we are well on our way through our final week of regular season, and it's time to head to game number two. Welcome back, friends. Jeff and Billy back at you here as we go through this final week of NECC Collegiate Overwatch. We're headed to the Challengers Division. We've got Arcadia Knights taking on Center Collar Overwatch, Center College Overwatch, not Collar. That would be something very different. Well, Center College, refocusing my attention here. Center College sitting in fourth place, but it's Arcadia Knights that I'm looking at here right now, Billy. Look at how close they are to getting out of the red.
I mean, they need a positive result here to get themselves out of the basement here and get themselves into that 8th position. And, looking at the head-to-heads, looking at, how everything has gone on this season with buys and everything like that, they are one of only 2 teams here in the NECC that have gotten a tie in their series. So if we're doing all of our math correctly, with a win here today, it's really going to set them up to get into 8th place. I think they need a 3-0 to really secure that. But Arcadia, I mean, Center College Overwatch, they are a formidable crew to go up against. And, my big question right now is which Arcadia are we going to see? We've seen 2 sides of them. A side that took down, Purdue Silver earlier in the year, they are sitting just below. They've also won versus Butler. They had a draw against the white team from Purdue. So we'll see, which Arcadia is going to come out today. Are they going to be the aggressive team that takes advantage, or are they going to be the passive team that we've kind of seen sometimes when they don't have all their players in their normal positions? We'll see what comes out today. But Center College Overwatch really looking to cement themselves towards the top of the standings. This could be going one of 2 ways. Either, Center College Overwatch are on cruise control going into the playoffs, or Arcadia Knights are going to come out with fire in their eyes.
Yeah, and it's that head-to-head. It's beating Purdue Silver that's really given Arcadia Knights a little leeway here. So even just a 2-1 victory will send them into the postseason because they were able to beat that Purdue team. That turned into such an instrumental win, because even with just a 2-1 here, they will be tied. And the draw notwithstanding, the draw might give them that edge anyway, but they've won that head-to-head. So any way you slice it, 2 map wins on this series for Arcadia Knights. Boom, they are in the green. They are headed into playoffs starting next week. But Center College, 4th place team, currently sitting 4-2, nice positive record. So it's going to be a tall ask indeed here, Billy. As we go through our best of 3 series, it's going to be these same maps all day long that we saw at the bottom of your screen. That's Legion, Kings Row, and Route 66 here for week number 8.
And I definitely think that Arcadia have got to come out the gate strong. They need to set up a statement here on Gardens. Flashing us some weirdness here. We'll see if they decide to stay with that. But looks like we're going to have the same support lines coming out. Same tank lines as well. Pluto is playing in the tank position once again. DPS is their normal role. So we'll see if they've gotten the wherewithal to really deal with this pressure coming in on them. We shall see what we shall see.
Yeah, it looks to be a DPS player that's gone over to that tank role, because we've seen Pluto on tank a few times this season. A nice opening pick. Both teams teleporting onto the objective, and Vector out of the fight. That's a great focus from Latrick to pick out that Reaper. Unfortunately for the Knights, they're going to lose Bubba, and that might even be more detrimental as Vector has returned, teleporting right back in, and Center College are evicting Arcadia at the moment.
Absolutely are. And I mean, that's just a great re-engage there. They just held their nerve, even going down early, and really got the wherewithal to go there. But that's a Vector going out once again. The trading coming through. Early coalescence from Jellymane.
Falling to a skill orb, you hate to see it. Blaku able to pick up 1, and an early shatter coming through from Bubba. And it's really Bubba going down. Bubba laid down the hammer and still wasn't able to find that pick. Galvanijo is now the one standing tall with a big old check mark by their name.
Yeah, and look at the Zarya diffs in the Graviton Surge department. That's a big amount of holding that you could use with that ultimate. And I'm telling you what, especially with getting that microwave beam of Hero up high, that could be detrimental at the extreme.
Coalescence Deadeye to start off this fight for Arcadia. Try to find some room to work, but Center College just retreat behind a giant 5,000 H point photon barrier. Teleport into the back. Galvanijo looking for the shatter, throws it down. I think got 1 with that. Yeah, Nemo did fall under that. And Blaku is charged to the heavens, able to burn down Bubba. Doesn't even need that Graviton Surge.
I mean, that's a great fight win there from them. And I mean, Vector, even having going down early twice in 2 fights is just getting their revenge in the most extreme way. And yep, that's going to be a kill right there. A little bit of extra possession there. And now, Nemo having swapped late, does not have this Death Blossom online. Pluto's going to have a big grab surge here.
And a big Graviton Surge indeed. Crusher not close enough to that sound barrier, but some great heals. Everybody but Bubba. Bubba ends up off the side, courtesy of that grab. And a little swag in chat there from Galvanijo. No Reinhardt's on the battlefield as the grab is returned from Pluto, and this one's going to pick up too. Nice kill on the back of it. Jellymane's Coalescence not enough to keep the members alive, and they're going to find themselves caught in a corner.
Well, I mean, 3 ultimates, almost 4 for Arcadia Knights in this next fight. You do see Bubba going over to the Wrecking Ball, trying to get that touch in there. Now they're going to have the disruption. So this might not be a bad swap for Bubba going over to this, but we'll see what can be done here. We do see a disconnect here coming through for Center College. So that is a little bit unfortunate coming in for them. But, it's still a good fight win for Arcadia Knights, and we shall see what will happen here. We'll look, for Arcadia Knights to be holding on to here, looking at their, almost 4 ultimate advantage there going into this next fight. They have the wherewithal to stall. They have the wherewithal to get some really good kills. I mean, you got both DPS ultimates ready to go. So that will be a very high hurdle for Center College Overwatch to overcome. We'll see, what they decide to path in with once J Double gets back into our server.
Yep, Jellymane did use that Coalescence, so maybe that foresight was there. They're like, hey, wait a minute, I sense a DC in my future. I better go ahead and press Q just because. Might as well throw it out because I don't want to lose it. So really no ult charge lost from the Moira that was DC. So hey, that's fortunate at least, Billy.
I mean, it happens. I mean, internet sometimes just goes. We've experienced it ourselves. Yeah, things happen, and hopefully they can get back into the server and continue on. But I mean, they got it to 99%. So Center College Overwatch has probably 4 fights here that they'll be able to get in, and really build up that ult charge. So they don't have to expend a lot going into these fights. They can go dry a couple times, see what they can pull out of Arcadia. But Arcadia might be cagey, knowing that they have an ult advantage right now. Just might sparingly use them when the pressure gets a little bit too much. Galvanijo has been putting on a pretty darn good performance as the Reinhardt for Center College. So we'll see if they continue that once again. We'll see if he can continue to make space with that rectangular shield and really bully the members of Arcadia off the point.
A good discipline goes a long way with the ultimates, and that is enabled by good communication and knowing how you want to engage each fight, what exactly your win condition is, and how to use those ultimates. So once we get back in, we'll get a better look at maybe some theory craft real quick as to what we think might be the best use of ultimates going in. But at the end goal, is to try to win the fights without investing too heavily, obviously. Get that nice rotation going so that you've always got good win conditions for each fight. And I mean, I think a Coalescence and Death Blossom might be the way to go here for the Knights, especially with Center College pushing around into this tiny room. And it is the Coalescence to start things off, trying to burn down Center as they round the corner. But Nemo won't get a chance to use the Death Blossom, unfortunately. I think teleported into the back and just found themselves surrounded. It's actually Vector doing the dance of death there on the objective. Doesn't really find a whole lot with it, though. Crusher's able to get that sound barrier out, keep the team alive.
I mean, absolutely huge, and Nemo's going to come in with this Death Blossom and see if they even need to use it. I don't know if they necessarily need to. Big grab coming up from Blaku, though.
Yeah, I think Center College investing heavily, and they are going to get rewarded with a point flip and should be a sub-map win as soon as they get this thing flipped over. I don't see a whole lot of stall there. J Double is going to go ahead and throw down a celebratory sound barrier, and we're headed to sub-map number 2.
We absolutely are, and I mean, this is a really good re-engage from Center College, and I mean, that grab absolutely decimated them in the end. The photon barrier plus the grav absolutely killed them, and they just didn't have enough in the tank to really combat it. So, submap went for control center college, and yeah, we'll see what Arcadia Knights can do on our next map. It's going to be control center.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating more Reinhardt, perhaps even more Symmetra. I mean, we could see the J Silly here, but the Reaper works just as well. And then, of course, there's the Ice Demon herself. That pesky May, Billy, that pesky May.
I mean, I despise May, but I love her utility here on this map. I do. As a Reinhardt player, I hate being frozen up when I'm trying to throw a fire strike, and the May just walks behind my shield and gets me frozen. I hate that. But we'll see what could happen going into that, because it's it's a definitely an obstacle that has to be overcome. Now the Phylactric can really start landing headshots with the Peacekeeper. Throw that May into that ice block. You get a lot more utility out of the rest of your team. And May is going to have to be public enemy number 1 to get off this map, should they decide to keep running with it.
Yeah, that is definitely public enemy number 1 for a Reinhardt in particular. And I think we had a May attacking our stream here, Billy, as we were suffering some freezes in our own right, but we're going to get those issues resolved ASAP. But it's Center College with a good start, and they looked really strong in their engagements. They knew exactly what they needed to use. One of the benefits of being at 99, you don't have to worry about that ult economy that we were talking about. You go in and throw everything in the kitchen sink in there, because you win that fight, you win the sub map, and that's exactly what we saw. So, good recognition of the win conditions from Center College there to take that opening round in Gardens.
Yeah, I mean, they had their win condition just set up the whole time. They were very judicious even before, they finally lost the point. They were able, just marshal their resources and really manage their cooldowns as well. And it's all about the space taking. It's all about, when they decide to go in ready to attack the point, and, they got full value out of it. I mean, we did see Arcadia get 64%, and, they held on as long as they could. I think the coalescence may have come out a little bit early from Arcadia, but I mean, notwithstanding, in the heat of the moment, sometimes that Q button kind of glows red. You're like, I can press it to save my team, and then no.
Well, and it's used as an engagement tool to kind of escort everybody in. But there was a wonderful photon barrier on the other side. So Center College were able to just LOS it, hide behind that center pillar in the center of the objective, hide behind that 5,000 HP shield. I mean, the Deadeye had no effect. The charging tanks couldn't really cross that to get in and get the work done. Now, I will say, I mean, good grab from Pluto. Pluto seems to have been one of the key components from Arcadia Knights, and one of the big reasons that they did win the team fight that they did and were able to hang on to that point for that 65%. So I want to see Pluto continue to step up, as they've apparently migrated into this tank role. We've seen them in the tank role past couple times, though listed as a DPS on their roster. And I mean, that's not much of a stretch, right? We've seen DPS players go to Zarya in particular before. Famously, Decay did it for Washington Justice and put on one heck of a carrier performance to propel that team into playoffs. So, maybe Arcadia Knights maybe it's Pluto just honing that Decay energy.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of other OWL players did it as well when Ghost was in the meta. I won't mention their names, but they were also able to do the same. So, I mean, not much of a stretch, especially when you get the charge up that high. I mean, you're putting out so much damage and just so much, especially if you get the right clicks really landing and really accurate going in. You build that grab so quickly. So Pluto, really standing out for me and seeing if we can go with that. But I tell you what, I mean, looking for Arcadia College to get a little bit more aggressive. I think they need speed. Really making sure that they go into this really strong and speed onto the members of Center College and just take the fight before they get a chance to set their hooks into the ground.
Yeah, absolutely could work. Absolutely could work. Looks like we're close to getting things done here, but still a couple of fixes coming through. So we're gonna take a little quick intermission. Let's get our ducks in a row. When we come back, it's gonna be our third sub map. We'll see who takes Lijiang. Y'all stick around. All right, appreciate your patience. Apologies for the technical issues, but we are back. Things should be smooth like butter here, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, looking at the compositions coming out, I mean, Center College running with this Reaper Symmetra once again. Lots of damage potential coming out for Arcadia Knights. Got to be careful not to charge block you through the skies, though, with all that damage coming in. So we'll see how they path onto this point. Bubba low, going low. There he goes, being taken down. That should be all Center College moving in on this point.
Yeah, Latrick is able to pick up Vector, but without the Reinhardt, it's so tough to push into Control Center. And Center College are just going to retreat right back to the objective, get that first control going.
Yep, I mean, Galvanijo already has Shatter ready to go, so I mean, lots of work getting done by the main tank for Center College, and yeah, that is a healthy lead. So you know, we may even see a lap going on here. We'll see how they decide to work into this. Pluto trying to get as much work done with the particle cannon as possible. Good judicious use of these bubbles right now, though.
Yeah, and actually the bubble goes on to Nemo to try to get in as opposed to off from the Reinhardt. Pluto's going to right in, but nice block on Galvanijo's Shatter, and Nemo is able to find that kill. Bezra, perfect timing on this Coalescence, able to bolster everybody up and really enable the team to get in and find the picks necessary to flip this objective.
Oh man, high charge, and look at that, Pluto with a right click absolutely explodes Blaku into the sky. Yeah, there's the confirmation of a great bubble coming out from Blaku to Pluto, and yeah, I mean, they got great value in on that. And huge charge for Pluto right now. Actually has gone past Blaku in the Grav's apartment.
Yeah, a really important fight win and a great output from Pluto, and we see it again. Pluto's able to turn around and burn down Galvanijo. Free Shatter coming through. That is monstrous. J double. I'm not even sure if that sound barrier got off. If it did, those shields evaporated. Just kind of like the water in my tea kettle, Biddle.
I see what you did there. Melting ice as well. Crow was able to throw that wall up though and get out with their lives. But look at this, still 3 ultimates ready to go.
Oh,
big grab.
Huge grab, and Nemo's got a Death Blossom into the back. Faded in, decides not to use it. Little feign there as the Reinhardts go blow for blow. Nemo's going to pick up that revenge kill, and it's a +1 to Arcadia Knights in this battle. But Vector equalizes on the back of a great Coalescence, this one coming out of Jelly. And Center College are starting to press the issue forward. 4v4 as Center move on to this objective, and they've got a Graviton Surge of their own to work with. Blaku at 90 charge. This would be a good time to use it. Looking for it. Putting some heat down. And the grab goes in the back. The grab only finds one of the Moira. The Moira cannot fade out of there. Crusher gets caught in it as well. That was bow supports getting caught in that. Blaku with a great move and cutting Arcadia Knights at the knees.
Yeah, that was a great grab. I mean, it didn't really catch much. I mean, you saw Bezra trying to fade out of it. Just did not have the ability to do so. But still, 74% on the first point there. Capture. So that is great work out of them. They do hold on to both Death Blossoms. So Tornado Siren's going to be going off here very shortly. We'll just see how they decide to path this.
This is going to be like a bad day in spring in the Midwest. Vector sneaking around in the back, has to go around the wall, has Latrick who's in the middle of a Deadeye, trying to put down some shots, but it's Nemo on the other side who unleashes the Dance of Death. Picking up one, follows it up the kill onto the other support. And Center College have no heals left in this fight. Bubble used onto the Reinhardt.
No.
The tanks are trying to retreat out of there. Bubba's going to miss the pan, but then just starts swinging for the fences. Separates Galvanijo from Blaku, and both find themselves back at spawn.
I mean, this is absolutely fantastic work from Arcadia. Nice, great retake there. Only giving up about 20% of capture progress there. So, you know, you're going to have Grab and Shatter going in this next fight, as well as that sound barrier coming up very close for Crusher. That's going to be what holds them together, and they might be able to win this map.
Nice read from Nemo, is kind of just checking that flank and was able to check Vector, who was looking for that entrance around the flank side. Coalescence now as the entire team of Center has rotated around. It's grab onto a single target. Hey, it's enough. The speed out of the fight, nobody from Center College can touch, and we're headed to Night Market.
We are headed to Night Market. And, I mean, that's a great fight back from Arcadia. And, yeah, I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. This is going to be fantastic here going on the Night Market. Now, the Symmetra has not really been shown that much from Arcadia other than initial usage to get them out the gate on Garden. So, you know, do they continue running this high burst damage coming out of Arcadia. It looks like they're going to go ahead and flash. Well, I say that as they, pop up their own Symmetra there. But I mean, Flashbang versus Vector. Vector got the worst end of it a couple times. I'm not hating this. But here we go. We're going to see Pluto going over to the D.Va, so damage mitigation is actually going to be huge for them. They might be anticipating Pluto running that again. And with this D.Va, you're going to have the escapability. You're going to have the damage mitigation. Both teleporters up at the same time. They both meet on the point at the same time.
And Pluto finds first pick right out of the gate. I'm not sure about the D.Va, but hey, Latric's able to get in there and get work done. And with that initial kill on a J double, I can't doubt Pluto too much. They've been fantastic. Going to trust their judgment on this one. This is such a close quarters map, though, Billy. So I can see Blaku getting a lot of value as these fights drag out.
I mean, you have the ability to eat grav. You have the ability to eat the right clicks to help building that Graviton Surge as well. You also have the self-destruct to be able to get yourself back into a fight. So, I mean, I'm not hating this whatsoever. Look at the swaps coming from Center College. We got an Anzo and a Doofus on the board, and both of them get immediate value.
Yep, that's a kill apiece. And now it's just tanks and supports for Center College to deal with. Don't have to worry about that pesky Reaper putting the shotguns into your tanks. It's easy cleanup from there. There just wasn't enough damage output. That opening kills coming through from Crow and Vector won that for them early.
It really did. I mean, they was going to begin to flip at 33% now. This is where I think that you have to swap up. You can't keep running the same composition. I think that they absolutely need to swap up. Here we go. Looking for Nemo to counter Vector on this Doomfist. I love that swap there. Latric's going to go ahead and hold on to the Reaper here because they are so close to Death Blossom. You're definitely looking to burn down Galvanijo and Blaku. Look at this. Coalescence to engage.
Yep, Shatter out from Galvanijo is going to find Crusher, but Crusher is able to stay alive courtesy of Bezra and that Coalescence. Bubba not so lucky, though, as Crow's damage output is just through the roof, and that Reinhardt melts. And speaking of melting, Blaku comes through and goes brr.
Yes, Zarya does go burr, especially at that high of a charge. Now you've got Grab Dragons on the line. You've got the Sound Barrier to really defend against anything coming through for Arcadia Knights. This should be a good fight win here for Central College. However, if any kind of resistance is not shown through this Shatter coming through, then that is going to be massive for Latric.
Bubba playing the dance right now. Bubble already used from Blaku when the Shatter lands. That's a 5-man Shatter just flattening Center College. The grab is invested from Blaku, but it's not going to be enough to turn it. Not even combined with the legendary Dragons. It is Arcadia Knights just storming over this point. Bubba, the star of the fight right now. That was beautiful.
Absolutely textbook perfect precision coming from the main tank player there for Arcadia Knights. That was a fantastic engage on the back of the Coalescence. I absolutely loved it. Bezra almost has another one into this fight. And they still now have the self-destruct, so they have lots of staying power into these fights.
Vector is trying to make something happen. Use the triple cooldown engage. Now going in with the Meteor Strike. We'll get all three of those cooldowns back, but Emo able to burn down Galvanijo, sacrifices themselves for it, and you take that trade if you're Arcadia Knights. Without that shielding, so tough for Center to try to push in through these tiny chokes and all of the incoming damage. Here comes that Coalescence out. Shatter does land for Galvanijo, but there's just not enough follow-up. They didn't have enough health for it. Oh! But the Dragons? What? Crow just perfectly placed those Dragons, completely unassisted.
I mean, there was no...
My jaw's on the floor, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, there was no... I mean, pressure was out the fight, so you couldn't put that sound barrier to keep you up through and get out of the way, but Shatter's going to be available to Bubba here, and you've got, this Deadeye ready to go, so this should be a good chance for them to retake.
What's their last chance to do so? Otherwise, their hopes of making it to the playoffs are starting to dwindle.
Lord.
But Nemo manages to do that. And then Bubba has a free Shatter coming through. Nemo picks up their third of the fight. Just that Doomfist left. Done. Dusted. Overtime Wick. We'll get that thing out of here. It's Arcadia's point now.
Yeah, huge ultimates used in that fight, and they held on to the sound barrier as well, Jeff, so they have a lot to deal with. But they're bringing the Symmetra back to bear, so they using it. And just be able to take the point too sweet.
Oh, wow. That was a huge teleport. Arcadia weren't expecting it. But they do drop that sound barrier, and now they're just storming back onto this objective. The flip did come through, and Center College are in control of the objective, but they're not in control of this engagement. Latrick is able to just get so much work done with those Hellfire shotguns.
Wow.
Vector picks up one. J-Double drops the sound barrier, trying to buy some time for reinforcements to show up. Vector is able to punch Crusher in the face before finally getting taken out. Did they buy enough time for the reinforcements to get here? Latrick's got to pick up a pair before getting taken down. It looks like the advantage is over to Arcadia at the moment. They need to deal with this Wrecking Ball. They need to deal with it now. Blocker returns. He's able to throw down that Graviton Surge, and Pluto is out of that mech. Coalescence coming on, and Bubba is so close to that shatter, being able to stay on their feet, and Bezra burns down two. Crusher's able to push one off the side, and Bezra gets a third. Crusher comes up with another one. The supports from Arcadia Knights have picked up 5 kills in this final fight scenario here for map 1.
And it's still an ongoing fight. I mean, this is still in favor of Center College. They still have the point. Oh my gosh, it's not enough now. They pretty much invested everything into this fight. It's going to take, Vector coming in, whiff on the shatter. They're on the point. Oh, what a bump, though.
Looks like a touch did come through. Nemo is able to drop the Deadeye, and the Death Blossom is invested from Latrick. Pluto has a self-destruct here. This is Arcadia's point. Sound barrier is out. It's Arcadia who have more tools at the end, more disciplined with their ultimates, and they have some to spare when it is all said and done. What an insane final fight. Tip of the hat to Crusher and Bezra for the 5K combined between the two. And despite Crow's best efforts with this incredible set of dragons that they threw down, it's Arcadia Knights, your underdogs, sitting at 2-3-1, picking up map 1.
I mean, that's just fantastic work at them. I mean, they absolutely are showing their heart right now. They're showing everything. They know this is the last game. They know that this is their last chance to get into the playoffs, and they are bringing everything to bear. I really, really have to throw it out to the supports there. That was fantastic usage, fantastic work out of both of them. And that kept them in the fight. I mean, I thought that fight was lost because we saw them come in with the Doomfist. I mean, getting a 3K and then flipping the point like that. I mean, flipping the fight on their head with 2 support ultimates. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, I mean, Bezra was able to keep Bubba alive long enough to get the shatter down and just keep that presence of the Reinhardt on the battlefield, who commands so much space. That coalescence, that was one of the most high value coalescence that I have seen here in my time casting at NECC. I mean, Bezra just got a big old star next to their name right now from that final performance. I mean, it looked great throughout the entire map. That was clutch. That was clutch with a capital C, Billy.
That was absolutely fantastic out of them. And I tell you what, this bodes well for them going into King's Row. I mean, the supports, I mean, if they're that bloodthirsty, if they're that have the wherewithal to hold into fights like that and hold their nerve, we talked about this. Would Arcadia be able to hold their nerve going into this? Wow. I mean, Pluto showed up big too with the Diva. The Diva was getting a lot of work done. And so, I mean, this was fantastic out of them. That was really good from them. I can't wait to see Kings Row. This is all laying on a razor's edge right now for Arcadia. They could be getting themselves into the playoffs.
It's only going to take one more map win. And honestly, they put themselves in a really good spot because even if they lose Kings Row, this team is exceptional at Escort. They handed CCE Blue one of their only map losses of the season on Escort. Every time we've seen them, they win map 3. That's just... That's kind of their bread and butter for Arcadia Knights. And again, that we've seen them. It's our small sample size. It's not. We don't get to see every map that they've every Escort map that they've played for all 8 weeks. But from what I've seen, I can tell you with confidence, friends, they are going to be strong on that map 3. So even with a loss on Kings Row, I think Arcadia Knights are in a great spot right now.
I mean, that was just, we were not expecting this. And I mean, just based upon, results that we've seen so far this year from earlier broadcasts and, looking at, their up and down, their volatility in their team, it seems like everything has coalesced together there and really brought it to the main stage. I mean, this is all to play for right now. This is the excitement of playoff season. Cannot wait to see what happens here on Kings Row.
I mean, they've got one to give around. They've got some leeway, but that doesn't mean they can take their foot off the gas. I mean, the pressure is certainly on, and they were not crushed by that pressure. They rose and met that pressure. They elevated their play to fight with this tougher ranked opponent, or opponent who's a little higher in the seeding, fourth place team compared to the ninth place that Arcadia Knights are currently seeded. So I mean, I would say definitely punching above their weight class, at least surpassing my expectations at the very least.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I can't wait to see, what they bring here. I did hear that we're going to have a side swap. So I believe that we're going to have Arcadia on the defense coming out first. So they're going to know what kind of a benchmark they're going to be looking at. And, Arcadia is going to be on the attack. My bad. They will be attacking coming out the gate. So we'll see what Center College Overwatch can bring to bear. They're going to know what they're going to have to go up against and see what they will have going into this, their attack phase. But I mean, this has got to put all the wind in Arcadia's sails and really, show to the rest of their division here that we're not down and out yet. We still have a say in this, and like you said, they do have the wherewithal to have one clunky map. Maybe I'd still say keep going for the jugular.
A little leeway. We'll call it a little leeway.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see what Center College will bring out here defensively. I'm going to assume a little bit of the same. Well, I say that Blaku might not like D.Va because we've seen the Zarya all 3 maps on Lijiang, and now we're seeing it here on Center College. So maybe D.Va might not be up in their hero pool because in this composition, you need to have the D.Va to mitigate the damage coming in on your main tank and to allow the Mei and the Cassidy to be able to get those shots in on the attacking team. So you also don't have the Baptiste here, Jeff. That's the other noticeable difference here. So I mean, you're going to have some burst damage going on or burst healing available, but not the same output that a Baptiste would bring to you.
Yeah. No doubt. We also have Who's James coming in on the defense for Center College. So a bit of a substitution there for Vector, who was playing the Reaper before. So maybe bringing in the sophomore, hoping that could be the difference maker to help bring this thing back. But right out of the gate, Galvanijo eats a big Bionade and then just gets dashed through. Bezra opening things up strong, finishing map 1 strong, starting map 2 strong. And Arcadia Knights are in a prime position to be this be a one and done fight here on point A of King's Row.
Man, Latrick on this Genji is getting work done. I mean, serious work done. Little Miss Grapple. We won't talk about that, Nemo. But, going into the next fight, I mean, they've already got it 542. That is a serious amount of time to be going into that. And, I mean, look at their ultimate charge. I mean, they're just looking so much stronger than what Center College is going into the streets of London here. So, I mean, they've already taken space up around Bookstore as well, Jeff. So this is a fantastic amount of space taking coming out of Arcadia Knights.
Yeah, Center College are going to try to take this back. They were waiting for some bubbles, maybe an amp speed. And they are going to go ahead and push up to Bookstore. And it's Bubba and Galvanijo going shield to shield. Ooh, nice sleep dart. And Galvanijo's in trouble. It's Bubba who ends up falling, though. Who's James? Putting down some shots, making their presence known immediately as they've come in for map 2. And without that, Arcadia Knights just have to reset.
Yeah, but that's a smart disengage. I mean, they knew that they were kind of stymied out there, especially once Bubba goes down. But you do have Nanoblade coming into this next fight, and only the sound barrier to protect against it.
Be nice if they can get that out first. Oh, but Crusher dies on the wrong side of the tracks there. Gets stuck out. Crow with a beautiful wall. And now Bubba's sitting here like, wait, do we engage? We should wait for our Lucio? You should wait for your Lucio.
Bubba, put that shield down. Let it recharge. You're going to need it for this next fight. Put that shield down!
Bubba's charging in, and here comes the blade. There's one already fallen. Looking for a second. Almost got it. There it is. Nice teamwork as Latrick and Crusher combine to find both supports. And didn't even need the Graviton Surge. I thought they might initiate with that. Nah, they're just going to hold on to that for the back of the point.
Yeah, and now they have, to defend against the Blizzard, they've got their sound barrier. They're also going to have Graviton Surge. So we're going to have battling Gravs. We're going to probably have battling Shatters as well, Jeff. So this is really going to set up for a fantastic fight. The big advantage right now, I was going to say the big advantage was the Coalescence, but never mind.
Coalescence Blizzard out, and Bubba is protected by some shields for now. Galvanijo win it, and it just solo shattered them to make sure they could burn down Bubba. And I don't mind that, because that is going to win them the fight. I say that. Crusher is able to find that kill in the back onto Jelly, and Arcadia Knights are feeling a little bit bold. They've got a Graviton Surge to work with. Blaku should be able to return into this fight momentarily. You can see the bubble coming up onto Galvanijo.
Oh, no.
And yeah, that's going to empower Galvanijo to push forward. There's no Reinhardt on the other side. As soon as Blaku made it back, that was Arcadia's Knights indication to run. And they ran headlong into death, I'm afraid.
Well, I think that they're waiting right now for Grab Dragons. I mean, that's an obvious win condition for them, especially since they know that Sound Barrier was cast in the last fight. They have a free Grab Dragon right now.
Can we also mention that Bubba has been such a threat that Center College invested 3 ultimates to kill Bubba in that fight before last? But on this last point, it's a worthwhile investment. It takes so long for the attackers to get back. It's the Blaku grab that comes out first, initiated by a great May wall from Crow. And they're going to win this fight. Nemo will have dragons for next. So, a little bit more disciplined on this fight. But I just want to throw that little tidbit out there before we got too far along.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bubba is absolutely creating havoc every time they step up on the stage here. Galvanijo, I mean, they know that he is such a threat, and he's really proving, a little bit of an MTD. I mean, he got a little bit MTD'd on Gardens, but I tell you what, really turned it around in the other 2 sub-maps, and now, Grab Dragon's available. You've also got the Nano available, so I mean, you've got 2 huge combos ready.
And here they come. The Shatter will not be in time to interrupt it. But there's not really anybody caught in. It's a 1-for-1 trade, Blaku for Bubba, and the Coalescence is thwarting Arcadia Knights' attempt to try to push in on this. Nice shot. Great tracking there from Jelly to find that pick onto Crusher. And another fight win for Center College. This is what started off so good for Arcadia is looking more and more dire for him now.
Yeah, I think Pluto needs to swap over to a Diva. That's my first real check. I think you need to swap over to Diva. You need to have the mobility. You need to have the damage mitigation that the bubbles just aren't providing right now. And then I think that looking at the Nano. I mean, the Nano hasn't been used nearly enough. You've been holding on to it for almost 2 minutes now. Just not enough going into that.
Nice Shatter coming through. Crow's going to fall. Blizzard in hand, but Bubba ends up going down. The wall from Crow denied the healing from the other side. Sound Barrier from Crusher, and they continue to push forward. Nano Blade is going to come out now. Latrick has the bubble, has the katana, has the kill on the Galvanijo, dashes through James. J double falls with a little help from their brother, and it's the brothers getting it done.
Brother Shimada getting the job done there, and now they're going to have about 2 minutes going into this next fight. Both DPS ultimates ready to go. You almost have a 4-pack ready to go for, Grav into Blizzard. I mean, you can really path this any way you want. But Pluto is really catching up in the Grav department as well, Jeff, so we're looking for Grav Dragons in the next fight.
Definitely a possibility. See if they can survive this Blizzard to start things off. Deadeye coming out from James to initiate the attack, and Center College going to get aggressive. Coalescence down, Shatter finds 2, and that's both tanks under the weight of that hammer. Bubba's in a lot of trouble, can't retreat. Nice May wall from Crow. Fight win for Center College.
Yep, it did cost them 3 ultimates. It cost them their Deadeye, it cost them the Coalescence and the Shatter. So Arcadia Knights, they have it on their mouse to push this through with some time left, especially if Grab Dragons comes up in the next 20 seconds. They should be able to push this.
I think it'll take 2 fights to do it. The 1 fight from here isn't going to be enough. But first things first, you got to win that one. Can't let Bubba die that early. And if you do, you got to make use of this Grab Dragons, and it's not going to be enough. The Blizzard from Crow counters it out, and the Dragons only pick up 1. Bezra finds Crow. And hopes are going up. Nice boom. Galvanijo ends up in the bottom of the underworld. Oh my goodness, that opens things up. It's once again the supports of Arcadia Knights giving them the rune they need to keep moving forward.
They are not done yet. They are not out of this yet. And now you've got Dragon Blade, Nano Blade almost ready to go. Latcher with a couple of right clicks. We'll be able to get that up, and that should be game over.
Dumber available. The counter, the grab from the other side. And there we go. Nano Blade is out. 2 kills on the board. Latrick does end up getting pinned. We'll see if those 2 kills are enough. Blocky's gonna fall from some great shots from Nemo. And Crusher eventually drops the beat. A very late beat. I love the discipline on it. Oh, and Galvanijo ends up down in the underworld again. That's the 2nd time Crusher has sent the 500 HP German Crusader to their death with 1 press of the right click. J-Double, though, ends up finding a kill on the exact same target on the other side. And with their sound barrier, Center College just aren't dying.
So much sustain available to Center College. And that's the big difference between these compositions is it's the Moira versus the Ana, and the Moira will win that 9 times out of 10. And you see it right there, just absolutely stymieing Arcadia Knights meters away from completing point 3. So win condition set for Center College here. 61.27 meters will be the mark they need to attain. And I tell you what, I mean, sorry. Yeah. You know, Center College, they've got their work cut out for them. I really want to see what will be coming of Laku Blaku. Do they have the diva in their pocket? We saw them kind of bring it out and kind of stally there. Jeff, last second stand, but definitely clearly preferring the Zarya in this composition. So swap up here for Arcadia Knights defensively. Pluto and Bubba swapping the roles here. We'll see if this is going to change anything. Pluto doesn't have a bad Reinhardt. I just think Bubba's was more consistent. So we'll see if this is going to change anything out.
I mean, this is going to change a lot. I don't care how similar the players are. Like, your tempo is going to change. Your timing, your callouts are going to change. This is a huge swap. Switching your Reinhardt and your Zarya around. This is a massive change into the flow of each battle. So I can only speculate as to why they would make this change, but Pluto has been looking fantastic on the off tank all day long. Bubba has been looking great against Galvanijo all day long. So I don't know what prompted this, but I'm very skeptical, Billy.
I'm skeptical too, and I want to see. I want to see what's going to go on here. I mean, look at this right click's already going through. Big nade coming from Vezra though.
Yeah, Vezra's been outstanding, and Galvanijo is going to fall. Trying to push through Hotel, but Latrick is on a Reaper. You've also got a May, both really, really good at these tiny close quarter fights. Center College not finding any love. Nope. Sorry, no vacancy here.
I love that. I love that. I mean, look at this sneaky from Latrick on the Reaper there. Big wall. It actually goes over the wall. Kind of surprising. Uh-oh.
I'm not quite sure why Galvanijo dropped on the wrong side of the tracks there, but hey, Crow and James are able to find some picks. Just sitting back here and laying down all kinds of damage. What a shot on the Crusher, and that's going to be enough for point A.
I mean, that's just work being done by Center College. Once they, really took down the main healer there of Vezra, it was all stream forward, and now you see Latrick swapping off the Edgelord, going to a capacity of their own. Way behind an ult charge. I mean, this is going to be serious work. Going to have to come out from Arcadia Knights to stop the snowball.
Did Arcadia get all their spawners in? They did. Okay, that was really dangerous of them having somebody spawn way back in the Foundry, but I think just by a second margin. I mean, that was really close, but all 6 are here, which means they can hold this bookstore. With a fight win here, they can push up and hold the archway. That was really important timing. As you can see, the Ant Matrix coming out just forces Center College into a corner. And, now the Ant Matrix, the Immortality Field is up to try to protect. That was a Nano Boost coming out. That one's on to Nemo. That had to be a misclick. And it's Center College just rolling over them. Nice Deadeye coming out from James in the midst of all that.
Yeah, I mean, the sleep, the shatter, everything coming through for Center College, and now we see Demo swapping over to a Hanzo of their own. So, I mean, they're just shooting themselves in the foot as far as their ult economy going into these fights. And, I mean, they're going to have to make a massive stand here on point C. They might have a chance to recontest, but look at Center College already speeding up and already trying to get on top of them.
And Arcadia Knights don't have that Lucio as Crusher now on the Baptiste, or has been, for their defense. Grab Dragons out. Immortality Field!
Whoa!
Not enough as Crow's a name 5 times through that feed. That is point B with style.
Oh my gosh. Then they get the final kill on the Bezra, so effectively a team kill there. I mean, the Halo is already crossing the first corner here. That's where you wanted Arcadia Knights to be able to stand, and now they're bringing out the Bezra Mercy. This is a different look for them, so they're going to be able to bring somebody back once, but almost 5 minutes to deal with this, Jeff. This is going to be absolutely insane for them to be able to handle.
We were talking about Arcadia not buckling under pressure, and now they're making these strange swapping rolls around. Bezra coming through. The Shatter's going to find one in the back, but the bubble kept Galvanijo alive, and J Double's going to drop down this sound barracks, and College able to get aggressive on the back of that. James is going to win the duel. Okay, Corral. Nice Graviton Surge there from Bubba, but the Coalescence is keeping everybody alive. Jellyman even able to burn Bubba down before it's all said and done. That's the yellow box of victory. We are all tied up. Center College taking Kings Row, and, well, they're one step closer to dashing Arcadia Knights' hopes of making it into the postseason.
Hey, why did we swap the tank rolls? That is something that they need to be asking themselves right this moment, because, it was a tank diff all the way through. I mean, that grab Dragons was absolutely spectacular. And then you see the Storm Arrow headshot going in from Crow. That's a 5K. That's a play of the year so far. Just
it was a 6K. They got the Ana afterwards.
They got the Ana afterwards. So, just fantastic work from all of them. But, man, Bubba and Pluto, why did you swap your roles there? There was no need to. You guys were playing so synergistically together, and now, for me, it's almost a throw. Looking at how they performed, you held on to Shatter forever, you held on to Grav forever, and you just didn't have the synergy. And then watching the DPS swap every fight to a different hero. They were always trailing in that ultimate economy, and they never just got their feet planted in the streets of London. So now it's going to have to come up to Utah for them to keep their playoff chances alive.
But hey, like I mentioned before, Kings Row, they had a little leeway to give. Route 66, Escort in general, traditionally very strong for Arcadia Knights. So we'll see if they can bring it back. There's still a chance. There's still a chance they can make the postseason. We're going to have to wait till after this intermission to find out. We'll see you back here with Map 3. Oh, that was a very exciting Kings Row dominant performance coming out of Center College after some unusual decisions from Arcadia Knights. They were kind of in the driver's seat, put up a decent attack, didn't quite finish, but got it close, and then made these unusual swaps.
I'm still scratching my head over that. I actually had to go splash water on my face to figure out if I was in dreamland or not, because that was just very wonky. I've had some weird dreams sometimes, and that was just very strange coming out from Arcadia. So I hope that they had a chance, in the interim, in the intermission, to be able to talk it out with their coach, talk it out amongst themselves, make sure that they got their game plan going into into Route 66, because their playoff lives are on the line. They've got to win this map. They've got to pull out the dub right now. Yep. Otherwise, it's sayonara, see you next season.
Yeah, there's no more safety net. This is it. It all comes down to this one map, and I hope Arcadia Knights go back to what we saw, because Bubba and Pluto were looking so good on the Ryan Zarya respectively that's what I want to see more of. I was bragging on Pluto, particularly on map 1, for just the bubble usage was good, the gravs were good, like everything seemed to be falling into place for him. So obviously Route 66, we've seen some double shield here before. The Reinhardt's still viable, particularly if you have, a Symmetra to teleport you around and to help cover some of that long distance. But, so a lot of this is on the assumption that we're going to see the Ryan Zarya again, but that does seem to be Arcadia Knight's strong suit.
The Diva was good too on Night Market. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Diva, True. Yeah, the Diva from Pluto was actually good. Oh, no. Well, we're looking at a Rolling Thunder coming, and maybe
this was the plan. Yeah, maybe the plan was to switch Bubba over to the Wrecking Ball previously. Maybe Pluto doesn't. I don't know. I still think you would go Wrecking Ball with a Diva or a Zarya even. Yeah, the Diva would fit better and just kind of go into more of a dive looking comp, particularly since you have Latrick on that Genji. But hey, they still have a moment to figure all this out. Let's look at the defense right now. Defense, not a whole lot of changes. The big notable one is going to be James, who's stayed in for map number 3, going on over to the Swedish Engineer.
I don't hate it. That's going to be encounter to Latrix Genji, but I mean, here we go. Bubba on the off tank and Pluto on the main tank. I'm not a fan, but we'll see what they bring out here. There goes the turret already down, so Latrix getting the work done with the shurikens.
And this pathing is going to be really important. Arcadia Knights look like they're going up and around. I mean, obviously we saw Nemo going up there as the rest of the tanks. Oh, they took too long doing it, though. They needed to go up there when Nemo did it and drop down, be more decisive. They kind of hesitated at the bottom of that 45-degree boxcar and just got sandwiched.
Wait, what? Pressure? Question mark? Jumping off the side a little prematurely. Well,
I mean,
we'll see.
That fight was over. That fight was done.
I mean, Latrick and Bezra got out. I like that. I mean, so we'll see what they can get done here. I am still not a fan of what I'm seeing out of the tank line. But Pluto gets the kill out, and no mercy to rest, so they're going to be a +1 right now.
Yeah, that's a great kill. And makes Center College think twice about this super aggressive hold that they were putting up. Now Arcadia Knights pushing through. Latrick is going to try to farm up the rest of this blade before this next engagement really breaks out.
Yeah, I mean, Crusher is still, about 35% away from their nano. So you might go with the dry blade because he's really building this quite quickly. And we'll see, what they can get out of this.
And can we talk about that for a moment? Because Bezra had such a fantastic Ana. That's another pretty big swap that's kind of gotten overshadowed by the tank change. I mean, Crusher, all right, still able to get the nano up, but we haven't seen the same impactful bio nades as well. As well as from the tank change. Now, that's a nice sleep. I'll give you that. But in the end, it doesn't accomplish a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm head scratching. People swapping roles around here, not sticking with what was actually working. And, I mean, they've got 4 ultimates, almost 5 online. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with the Molten Core. This is where a Diva would absolutely be wrecking it right now. So you can eat that. You can get away from it. You can deal with everything you need to deal with going into that. So, I mean, oh my gosh, huge shatter coming out.
Yeah, Pluto does get the bubble, but still, that just gets burned down, and James is able to find that kill. Bezra thought about the res. You saw the cursor just hovering over Pluto's body. It's like, nope, no, you don't want to go for that. There's a Hanzo in the back line. That's way too dangerous.
Yep, and I mean, they're going to have to go back to Plan B now. I'm not sure what they can do, really, to get anything done. I mean, look at this. Blaku getting so much more value on the Zarya. Bubba still 30% away from Grav. I mean, that's got to be a win condition for them is this grab. So grab Dragon's available to Center College to get this stop. You could also throw Molten Core if you catch enough people in it.
I mean, there is Nano Blade online. I think that's the one I'm looking at from the attacking Arcadia Knights to try to break this open. Let's see if Latrick can get anything done with it. Nemo already taking a lot of pressure. Latrick going up top, and the blade is out. The Nano is there, but there's the Sound Barrier on the other side. That's a lot of shielding to try to work through. The Dragons are combined with the Grav. Doesn't really light up the feed, but it does enough damage that Center College are able to hold on.
Yep, this is looking to be a full point hold here. I mean, Grav into the next fight. They don't have anything to combine with it, especially if Galvanijo is up. If Blaku has both their bubbles available as well. I mean, that's just going to charge Blaku. So we'll see what they can get done here. I'm not very hopeful, especially with this Coalescence available to Jellymane.
You can do it, Bubba. Take a big grab. You need to get some charge first. Then get a big grab here. Somehow they've got to get on top of that high ground. Latrick has gone over to the Hanzo, so can put some pressure up there. Those bubbles have been used from the defense.
Oh!
Crow takes down 2 with a single use of the Storm Arrows. Galvanijo's going to throw down the Shatter, then turns around and blocks Pluto's. Oh my, a dominant performance on the defense. And on a game type that Arcadia Knights are traditionally so exceptional at, Center College just put up one heck of a hole.
I mean, you didn't deal with the turrets. You didn't deal with the Torbjorn. You didn't deal with the Hanzo. And your main tank and off tank that started the game so well, swap positions on the defense of Kings Row and haven't swapped back. And I mean, they just, that's a throw. I mean, I have to call it what it is, based upon their performances, not only on attack on Kings Row, but the entirety of Lijiang Tower. I mean, it baffles me. You should have come out the gate with the Hanzo. Once you saw the Torbjorn, you know that you needed to get the long range poke in there instead of trying to get a Genji on top of a turret. Yeah, you took it down a couple times, but you didn't build enough into it. So, I mean, I'm not sure what's going through Arcadia's mind right now, but Center College, I mean, they've got a very easy win condition right now. I mean, just about 44 meters. I mean, that's just around the corner in front of Big Earl. So, this is going to have to be the hold of a century for Arcadia Knights to deal with this. Looks like they're going to go with the rock and the hook here, the pig's feet composition, and we'll see what they can get done with this.
This is all about early picks and getting those individual efforts, from Pluto, from Bubba, Nemo on this Hanzo now, to try to find the kills before Center College can really get close and engage. Kind of working around a shield and a couple of bubbles. Pluto's looking for an opening, looking for somewhere to drop that hook. It's ready to go. The cooldown is up. Quite saw it come out. Pluto has to use that, take a breather. Now going to get pinned into the corner. Immortality Field comes out, trying to keep Pluto alive. And it's Latrick who kind of gets left out in the wing, goes down. Now, good kill on the Galvanijo. So Arcadia aren't quite done just yet. They're able to put a little bit of pressure back on in lieu of the big Reinhardt out of the battle.
I mean, and Bezra there being able to bring back the Cassidy into this fight, huge. I mean, Dragon's already online. That's massive out of them. Now, do you go ahead and use it in the first engagement? Maybe look for a flashbang. Oh gosh, Latrick, you got to be careful up there.
That's a lot of people caught upside. Here comes the dragons. They're all in that cave. Oh my goodness. Somehow they just speed on through. J Double with a great amp speed just gets Center College the heck out of there. Now Pro is going to get caught. And Center College are going to drop back down and try to take this point. Galvanijo does find a good pick, but there's that hook we've been waiting for. And Pluto's going to unleash the whole hog, the scrap gun, giving it everything they've got. Because Arcadia certainly doesn't want to go home. That's going to pick up James. Coalescence comes out, and they're trying to bolster Galvanijo, Block to muscle this thing home. They want to do it right here, right now. Bubba is really close to this gravitic flux, and then here comes the sound barrier. Arcadia Knights can survive this little tempo, this onslaught.
Oh,
the flux is in. That's going to pick up two. Nemo's going to follow it up with a kill on the Crow as well. Arcadia Knights do survive the barrier, and they strike back. Beautiful.
Oh, gosh. Woo! Heart's got to be erasing right now. That was a big investment into that fight. And now Nemo is coming up on another set of dragons, so this is actually kind of huge for them. They also have the App Matrix, so depending on where Center College paths this, I mean, they're going to have to hold this Immortality Field for the grab dragons. And then they've got that Deadeye to deal with as well.
Oh, no. And Pluto out of the fight already. They're going to have to do it in a 5v6. Maybe got a 4v6. No Immortality Field. There's the grab dragons. That catches two, I believe. Galvanijo didn't even let the dragons get the kills, and that is it. Center College play spoiler to Arcadia Knights' hopes of making it to the postseason. They beat them on their best map type and take Route 66 with seeming ease. What a turnaround. Arcadia Knights looked so good. But it's Center College who rise to the occasion, who put so much pressure down, it forces them to second-guess themselves and make awkward swaps that do not go in Arcadia's favor. Center College will move up to 5-2 as they conclude the regular season.
Heartbreak. And I mean, it was just compositional differences. It was role swapping that I think was the nail in the coffin for Arcadia College. I think that if they would have come, I mean, even if he would have come out with the pig's feet on attack, I mean, you could have gotten a lot of work done with that. You could have really attacked the high ground there. I think the Diva would have been a better choice as well. Coming out the gate with the Reinhardt to be able to contest the high ground. I mean, they just try to push it in with, square peg round hole. It was kind of, fighting against themselves instead of, sticking with their strengths and what got them that first map win. Oh, God, I hate to see that. But, full credit to Center College Overwatch. I mean, they absolutely took that game and wrestled it out of Arcadia Knights' hands.
It was fun to watch. I will say, like at Center College, they put up on a great show. Some great synergy coming out of Blaku Blaku and Crow between the Hanzo and the
Mhm.
Zarya. They got a lot of work done together. Great synergy from Galvanijo with Blaku Blaku as well. It's I look forward to seeing this team in the postseason. They seem to shake the mental of the Arcadia Knights on the defense of Kings Row. That was the turning point when they stopped them on that back end of Kings Row. That was the one that turned it around, and it was all Center College from there. Oh man, it's a heartbreaking loss for Arcadia once again. I hate saying goodbye. You see these teams working so hard and get so close, Billy, just so close, and falling just a little bit short. I can't help but feel for these students. But at the end of the day, it's Center College moving on with a fantastic 5-2 record.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest I guess sadness is that we don't get to see these players play anymore this season because we've got to get a chance to kind of get to know them on the screen, and that's my biggest loss is I don't get to see them out there playing their hearts out. That's a big sad for me, but I still it was a good season for Arcadia Knights, so they probably wanted to do a little bit better. But there's spring split coming up hopefully, and we hope to see them once again.
Indeed, definitely things to look forward to. And well, you've got some more Overwatch to look forward to, my friends. After a little intermission, when we come back, we are headed to the Legends division, the best of the best in NECC Collegiate Overwatch. Y'all stick around. We'll see you back here in a few.